Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Livinginalberta. If this is your first time here, please do well to subscribe, like, share my videos, and follow on other social media platforms. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the differences between studying as a permanent resident and studying as an international student. So if you have been following my videos for a while, you will know that I recently got into school. I went back to school to get my bachelor's of education. It's a 2-year degree, it's an after degree program. But then I've been getting lots of questions about, oh, how can I get into this school? How can I do this? How can I do that? And I decided that, okay, maybe it's time to share with you guys, especially people who've been asking me questions from outside of Canada, to say, oh, how can I get into this school? How do I go about it? And I discovered that the process is quite different for international students. The process is quite different from a permanent resident. This is why I'm going to be sharing with you 5 differences between studying as an international student and studying as a permanent resident, of which I am. I didn't come in as an international student. I came in as a permanent resident, and it was after I got here that I applied to study. So that's why I'm going to be giving you the differences between studying as an international student and studying as a permanent resident, using my own experience, so that I can explain to you ideas about both pathways, and you can now figure out how to do a research on how to get in studying as an international student, or if you're watching and you want to go back to school as a permanent resident already here and you choose to go back to school, or you want to go into the program bachelor's of education like I did, or like I'm doing because I'm not yet a graduate. So if you want to go into the program, these are the things you would know that applies to a permanent resident going back to school, or applies to an international student going back to school. I have spoken too much, so without having to talk too much like I just did, let me give you the 5 differences and you can go from there. Before I start to speak about the differences between both pathways, international student and permanent resident studying in Canada, I would like to say that Canada views permanent residents more like a citizen. So I'm not saying that they are citizens yet, but everything they do, they treat them like they're already a citizen. And the only difference between a citizen and a permanent resident is that they cannot vote, at least not until they become citizens. So anything that applies to a citizen entering into a school in Canada, it's like permanent residents also get the same treatment. Which brings me to my number 1 point. So the first point is that, or the first difference between a permanent resident and an international student, is that the application requirements are actually different, like very, very different. For an international student, your application fee is different from a domestic student. I mentioned this kind of in one of my videos, and somebody asked me, what is a domestic student? I'm schooling like I am here, like I am a permanent resident, more like I am also a citizen. So the application fee is quite different. So a permanent resident is paying differently from an international student. And like for my school, I'll be using my school as an example. For my school now, international students are to pay 175 Canadian dollars, while permanent residents are to pay $100, or citizens. So you can see that from the admission requirement, it's quite different. And to also buttress that point is to say that even when you are submitting your documents, everything you have to submit as an international student differs from what a citizen or a permanent resident is supposed to submit. So for international students, they ask for language requirements and a host of other things, while for permanent residents, you don't even need all of those things. I think you just need to submit your transcript and every other document to show that you're ready for the course. I don't think you require language proficiency and all of that. While I was applying, I didn't need all of that, because you're already here. They assume that you can speak their language and all the other things involved. So the first thing is admission requirement. It differs completely. Now the second one is the tuition. This one is like the biggest one ever. So if you're applying as an international student, your school fee is on the high side, like is extremely high. I am telling you, the school fee difference is high. Like it doesn't match up. So what an international student pays is completely different from what a permanent resident pays. A permanent resident like me, I am paying a little over $6,000 per semester, which means for a year I'm going to be paying a little over $12,000. And for international students, they are paying quite a lot. In fact, let me put a number to it. Okay, so for international students, they are paying, I'm checking through my phone right now so that you can know. International students are paying annually $35,225. So that's like almost triple the price of what I am paying. Yes, almost triple the price of what a permanent resident will pay is what an international student will pay, 35K. So you can see the difference. International students pay a lot, while permanent residents pay like a citizen, like I said earlier. So we are paying like 12K when international students are paying 35K. You can see that it's sweet to be a permanent resident. Yeah. So if I actually entered like an international student, this is what I'll be paying. But because I am a permanent resident, I'm paying 12K instead of paying 35,000. Now, the third thing that I would like to say is that permanent residents in Canada get access to financial aid. So what do I mean by financial aid? Like me right now, you will think that I'm rich because I just mentioned that my school fee is 12K per year, and you will think that I have paid the school fee. The truth is that I didn't pay anything right now. And I remember saying this in one of my videos that, am I paying my school fees right now? No, I have not paid. Like, I have paid, but the government paid on my behalf. Like, that's the way I should put it. I have paid, the government paid on my behalf, and that's what they call financial aid here. So if you don't have the money, if you cannot afford it, the government pays on your behalf, and then after your schooling, 6 months after you have completed your degree, you can start paying back, because they expect that by then you would have already gotten a job and you can start paying back in the agreed amount that you want to pay. So it's not something that when you don't have the money, you say, oh, I don't have the money, I'm not going to school. The government can settle that, and then over time you pay. As an international student, you don't get the luxury of getting student loan, so you need to pay your school fee, your tuition yourself. But for permanent residents or citizens, you can actually take student loan and start paying back after you have finished your degree, which makes life easier, because where would I have gotten 12K? So in 2 years, that's like 24K. So where would I have gotten 24K? But they give you the luxury of time to finish your course and get your degree, start working, then you can start paying back like you want to pay. So for permanent residents, they get the luxury of taking a student loan when they don't have the money to pay their tuition, but international students cannot do that. Which brings me to the next point, which is scholarship, bursaries, and every other access to little funding. So I can tell that international students get some funding, but not like permanent residents or citizens. So in my school, for example, there are so many bursaries, there are so many fundings that are made available, and they already wrote it there. Like in the requirements before you apply, it is written that this funding or these scholarships are available to only permanent residents, to only citizens or permanent residents, and they are not available to international students. Yes, I know that there are some scholarships that international students can access, but not all scholarships can be accessed by international students. There are some scholarships that it is already written in the requirement that it's only meant for this particular set of people, and international students cannot get that. So it's sweet to be a permanent resident in Canada. The last difference I would like to raise is about the work opportunities. If you're a student, most likely you can get some jobs that you can work in. For example, my course is like 4 days in a week, and I have some of my classmates doing like the same full-time job, and the full-time job is like 40 hours full-time job, and they're also coming to school, which I don't think international students can get access to, because there are a lot of things involved. Before now, international students have only 20 hours of work, but right now they have allow the international student to work as long as possible, but getting some jobs, like my classmates working some jobs that like 40 hours, proper professional jobs. I don't think the international student can access those kind of jobs that these people actually work in. So job opportunities kind of varies from person to person, whether you're an international student or you are a permanent resident. So what I would like to say is that I understand that coming into Canada is not easy. The pathways to getting into Canada is not easy at all. But I didn't shoot this video to make anybody feel down that, oh, international students are lesser compared to permanent residents. No. But for you to strive to also come in as a permanent resident or also work your way up to becoming a permanent resident, it has so many advantages, and it's something that I am grateful for, because I came here as a permanent resident and really we're thriving to the glory of God. So I shot this video just to explain the differences, so that if you want to make your decisions, you can make informed decisions. You can also be able to sit back, count your costs. Is it okay for me to come in as an international student? Can I afford it? Can I make all of these decisions? All of these differences should help you. And also, if you're watching this video and you're a permanent resident in Canada, is to inform you that these things are available for you as a permanent resident, and you can take advantage of everything I have said to go back to school. Because really, I think going back to school in Canada is a thing, because you need licenses to practice in your professional field. So going back to school to get your professional license, or going back to school to start all over again, which some people do, and that's okay. This video would help you make informed decision about how to go about it. And I hope that this video has helped somebody today. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this video will be helpful to somebody. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to share with somebody that you think needs this video. Comment and tell me more things. Like, people are in the comment section wanting to know more differences about studying as an international student and studying as a permanent resident. So thank you for also dropping your comment, because I know you will do. Please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share this video, and I will see you in my next video.